Hello friends. First of all, a big thank you for watching our videos and sharing with your friends. It really means a lot to us. So please continue to do so. Subscribe to our channel, hit the bell icon, and we would love to hear from you when you use the comment box and share your comments, observations and suggestions. So today I am back with another topic, and I thought this is a topic which interests all of you, especially the students. I'm talking about jobs. And then about first job. A first job is something very special to all of us in our lives, and we will remember it forever. Now the thing is, these days when you apply for any job, even as a fresher, first thing the companies ask you is work experience. How do you get work experience when you're applying for the first job? It is here that internships, apprenticeships, traineeships and many other things come into the picture. And I'm sure most of you are doing internships. You must be an apprentice and you must be a trainee and doing many other things to get that important industry work experience. But are you really doing it meaningfully? Are you doing it in a relevant way? Is it really helpful? These are the questions we need to look at right away, because in case you're not doing it in a meaningful way, in case you're not getting the desired outcomes, then it's not going to help you a lot. So today in my presentation, I will take you through many aspects of doing a meaningful internship or a useful apprenticeship or something that is giving you a lot of experience, exposure, and helping you learn about how the workplace is, how the industry is, and how you adjust, how you cope with the demands, how you keep learning. There are so many aspects of this thing. So today what we are going to do is we are going to look at 5 important ways in which you can gain industry work experience. One of them is internships. Second is apprenticeship, third is traineeship, fourth is freelancing, and fifth one is volunteering. Now all these 5 are different ways of aligning yourself with what the industry wants from young people like you. In every way that you align or that you work with the industry, taking up a project or going and doing something in the long run, there is an outcome attached to it. Now let's go ahead and see what these outcomes are and how you can make this experience very, very valuable, not only to yourself but also to the industry, the college, the university, and of course your parents. So let's go ahead and look at these points. Let's look into the details of how you can gain work experience before your first job. Normally, when you want to apply for a job, you start by sending a resume or a CV, which is telling the employer about who you are and what you do. This has facts about education, the qualifications, and if you have any work experience or any volunteering experience, you might want to mention all that. And also in the college, if you have done any kind of work which is in addition to your curriculum, like extracurricular activities and so on, you mention all that because it's your first job. But today, most of the employers would like to see a detailed portfolio. And this portfolio should capture your projects, the work done in details, and then also some achievements you can mention, and what are your strengths and what is it that really interests you. So these things will tell the employer more about yourself. Now let's look at 5 ways in which you can gain this work experience even before you get your first job. Internship, apprenticeship, traineeship, freelancing, volunteering. These are the 5 ways you can get work experience, and I'm sure most of you are doing internships, apprenticeships, and other things are quite related, and some of you could also be doing freelancing. Let's look at them in detail now. But when we think about doing an internship or an apprenticeship or any of these things which give us work experience from the industry, there are many things that come to our mind and they all try to draw our attention. So we'll be very curious to understand what are the new job roles, what is the workplace going to be like, and what exactly is an industry when we talk about, let's say, IT industry or retail or manufacturing or hospitality or any of these industries. We are very curious to see how the workplace looks like. And then at the same time, we have our college at the backdrop, because you are still probably in the college or you are just about to complete it. And at the same time, the anxiety is about getting a lot of practical experience from the industry. And another point which can bother many of us is to do with the stipend or the salary. But if you ask me, this should not be a very important criteria to go for any of these things that we just talked about. Either it is internship, traineeship, and so on. For apprenticeship, of course, there is a stipend which is mandatory. We will look at it in the next few slides. Now, this is something I think is most important, and I would like you to pay attention to these R's which are listed here. When we are talking about gaining work experience from the industry, let's try to remember these. Most important is it has to be a real workplace where the actual work is happening. So, if it is a software company, you go and spend time in the office, sit with the team members, the colleagues, understand how work happens. If it is a hospitality kind of a job, then you go to the hotel and spend time there, and talk to people and see how the work happens. For that matter, any industry, it requires this kind of real workplace experience. So as much as possible, you need to gain this. And then second most important thing about internships, apprenticeships, traineeships and all that is the relevance. I've often seen many engineering graduates applying for very irrelevant internships just because internships are mandatory for an engineering degree program. Please don't do that. Let's assume that BTech, BE kind of graduates are all applying for internships in content writing or something like that. It doesn't make sense at all, because maybe this is not something that you want to do. Perhaps very few would want to do, but then not every engineer would want to become a content writer, and it doesn't match with your background as well. So if you are doing it, do it only if you are very interested in writing, then you apply. Otherwise, look for internships which are closely related to your degree. So relevance is very, very essential. Then comes being result oriented. If you are spending 3 months or 6 months or whatever duration in getting work experience, you should look at the results. What is it that it gives you? How has it improved you, your knowledge, your experience and all that? And then another important thing is about relationship building with the industry. Let's assume you go for an internship or an apprenticeship. As a student, you are welcomed and they treat you very nicely and things like that. If they are doing that, then it is good. You start building a good relationship. But at the same time, if you feel that you're going to get exploited and you're not getting treated well, there is always a reason for you to complain and tell your college or whoever is concerned that this is not that is expected from the industry. So relationship building is very important, and this works for your later professional life. And then get a recommendation from them when you're going for placements, or when you're going into the actual job and when you're getting placed. Now let's look at each one of them in detail, starting with internship. Internships are very popular across industries like in engineering, technology and many other industries. Let's quickly look at each one of them. You take it up only when it interests you. Please remember, don't just go for it as I just told you. Just because you need it to show in your certificate, it doesn't help you at all. Try to match your internship with your interest and passion. If you are interested in latest technologies, like say you are interested about the drone technology, which is latest, which is useful and things like that, you want to create a drone or you want to work with them, go into that field only when you are very interested. And then also look for it as something where you are getting certification, but at the same time you're also getting a lot of exposure. Exposure to the industry counts, as you know. And there could be internships where there is a guaranteed placement. If that is there, it's fine. But also remember, when you're doing an internship, as an intern, you should also explore future job prospects, because entry into an industry as an intern opens up many more things for you, and you start observing life around, and then you notice that there are maybe other jobs. So take up something in engineering tech and technology only when you are really interested in it. And now coming to science, internships in scientific disciplines. Let's say you are very interested in coming up with something innovative, an innovative solution, or you are interested in research and development. Then you take up an internship in R&D and become a part of a team in a scientific organization and all that. I'm talking about pure science. And then also look at applied science. So be clear about what your orientation is, because remember, whatever time you spend as an intern is very precious. Now, coming to humanities and liberal arts, most of us feel that there aren't many internships in this, but that's not true. If you explore well, you will find internships which are connected with, let's say, history, economics, English literature, political science, psychology, sociology, and all these. And humanities and liberal arts have become even more important in today's world, because we are talking about the changing nature of workplace, where humans have to work with technology, and this relationship has to be built in a very understanding, in a very suitable way. Now coming to the next domain, which is about business administration and management. Here again, MBA graduates, BBA graduates, and all that, they get plenty of internship opportunities. But again, you need to be clear about which domain you want to go into, like marketing, human resources, retail management, and so on. So be open to all these new emerging domains also. Now coming to apprenticeship. Apprenticeship is definitely different from internship. Internship is something which is shorter in duration. Apprenticeship is long. It is minimum of 6 months, and it is mostly paid, and it has some legal implications and binding with the industry. It is a much more serious thing. And as of now, mostly technical skills are what is being picked up through apprenticeship. It is still more popular in sectors like manufacturing, but it has already come into services sector as well. And with apprenticeship, there is always a job guarantee at the end, provided you perform very well and meet the expectations. And in apprenticeship, there is a stipend, and also the curriculum is very closely integrated with the industry, unlike in internship. In internship, what happens is, while you're doing a course in the college, you might pick up a small project and go and do an internship. Whereas in apprenticeship, since it's a long duration thing, the entire way in which the subject is taught to you on the in the industry premises has a different curriculum as well. So it is pretty different from internships. And then apprenticeship today is also changing, because industry is changing. Today apprenticeships are also available. When we talk about smart factory, it could be in a manufacturing environment, or it could be in some other industry where most of the latest technologies are being explored. So if you want to try an apprenticeship in any of these areas like industry 4.0, big data, automation, you can explore and try them out. That would be perhaps very interesting for you if you are interested in latest technologies. And there is something called informal apprenticeship as well, where you might be learning under the guidance of a senior person, a crafts person, or an artist, or somebody who knows a lot about, let's say, mechanics and things like that. And you might even acquire a good decent knowledge, so that you can start on your own, start a small business, or get into some form of work. So there is an informal apprenticeship also. Now when it comes to apprenticeship in India, there is a portal which talks about many aspects of apprenticeship. In fact, it is a portal from where you can register, the industry can register, the training partners can register, and everything happens online here. As you can see, this portal, and the scheme called National Apprenticeship Promotion Scheme is also implemented through this portal. So visit this portal and try to understand more about apprenticeships in India. Now let's look at traineeship. Uh, Internship and apprenticeship, as we just saw, have some small differences, but they are similar also. There are similarities also. When it comes to traineeship, also it is got to do with becoming a trainee, as the word says, but it is not always available in all the disciplines that you look at. So when you have to apply as a trainee, it is mostly in select disciplines. One of them is accounting. For example, if your interest lies in accounting and you want to pursue a career, you can check out in BFSI sector, that is banking, financial services and insurance, about accounts, taxation, any discipline that you like. So remember, here you enroll as a trainee and then you work in an organization, in a bank, or under somebody like a chartered accountant, and then learn more about the job roles that you are interested in. Another area where traineeship is popular is like sales trainee, marketing trainee, or in media and communication. So here you can enroll as trainees and then try to learn whatever is there for you as a part of the program, and decide whether you want to continue in these domains or not. Let's also remember another important point: when you are trying out internship, apprenticeship, or traineeship, you are actually testing the waters also. By testing the water, I mean you want to decide whether it's the right thing you want to do or not. Now coming to freelancing. Freelancing is a very popular thing. Many of us do it for various reasons. So even freelancing gives you industry experience, but not always, and not in every domain. Like we can see, many freelancers or people who would want to get exposure, let's say in creative professions or entertainment industry. You would have heard of many famous directors who would have started their career as an assistant director or something. So this is one industry where freelancing is very popular. By freelancing, I mean you do it, like we say, in a gig way, as we say, short-term assignments for a certain project, for a movie, or for any of these things. Freelancing is also popular among other professions, like writing and design, things which can be done mostly at the comfort of your home, which is also helping you not only explore and learn, but also helping you financially. Many freelancers would also expect that they get to earn through this. So it's not a bad thing while you are a student. If you are if you have a good drive to do all these things without affecting your studies, you can start freelancing, like writing blogs, that is content writing, visual design. There are many other disciplines where freelancing works very well. Even video editing, for example, can be done in a freelance way. Now, last one is about volunteering. Volunteering today has a lot of importance when you are applying for any job, your first job especially, because many companies are aware of the social implications, and they have a lot of CSR initiatives, that is corporate social responsibility, and they would also like to have their employees who show an inclination and understanding about social issues and many other issues. So one of the examples could be taking up an internship for this Swachh Bharat mission. This is a social cause, and then when you take up an internship, you also get a certificate. You need to try out with the municipalities in your location how this is done, and they will give you a lot of information. Otherwise, you can do a lot of pro bono work where you are not expecting anything monetarily in return, but then at the same time, you are joining an organization where you believe in that cause. It could be, let's say, teaching children, who are underprivileged, and you are trying to gain some experience. So it's not just teaching experience, but you get other experiences like how you interact, how you work in a team, how you do many other things. So these are some of the things which can help you in getting work experience in the social domain. in the development sector mainly. So if you go and browse and understand what could be the projects that you get, perhaps if you are inclined towards this, you must explore this as also. And remember, last and most important point, when we are talking about internships, apprenticeships, traineeships, and freelancing, and also the volunteering aspect, it is not just the technical or the domain skills and knowledge that you acquire. You also acquire a whole lot of what we call as the 21st century skills or the life skills, where you will learn how to work in a team, for example, and how to deal with situations which are not easy, how to interact with senior colleagues, and many other things. Now let's assume that you get to see a note called "We are hiring." Do you think you will be able to apply with relevant work experience? I think you should. If you consider all these options very carefully, then take up one or two of them. I'm sure your resume will become a very rich portfolio of the kind of work that you did even without having a job, and then you are fully equipped to go and face the interview of the first job. So I wish you all the best for your first job. Keep writing to us at contact@nationalskillsnetwork.com, and watch our videos, subscribe to our channel, and it would be nice to hear from you. You can even share your comments and let us know if this video was helpful. Do share with your friends. This is Madhuri here saying bye. I look forward to talk to you soon.